Welcome back to Spring One's Agile Leadership Track. Next, we hear from Oya and Patrick from AirFrance-KLM about how they transformed their payment application to cloud native in 6 weeks.
Hi everyone, I hope you are enjoying the conference so far. Today we are here to share the transformation story of our core payment application at AirFrance-KLM. We will be talking about our needs for modernization, how we engage the stakeholders on board to minimize our risk. And of course, we will share some tips for you from our lesson learned and best practices. But let's start briefly introducing ourselves first. My name is Oya Ünlü. I'm a group manager at AirFrance-KLM Digital Department, and I'm leading the commercial API teams and social media product teams. I'm going to be presenting with my colleague Patrick. Patrick?
Hi, my name is Patrick Zijlstra. I'm a developer in the payment application of AirFrance-KLM, and I'm also one of the developers who was involved in the transformation project.
And let's also introduce AirFrance-KLM Airline Group. So we are an airline group focusing on passenger transportation, cargo transportation, and aircraft maintenance. Today, we have more than 500 aircrafts, and we are operating daily 2,300 flights all over the world, together with Air France, KLM, and Transavia. And of course, these are all pre-corona figures. Last year, we have transported 104 million passengers all over the world. So our purpose as an airline group is to create memorable experiences for our passengers. In order to achieve that, we are focusing on customer centricity, innovation, and also, of course, efficiency in our processes. Next to our core operations with flying and maintaining aircrafts, digital is becoming very important for us. We see that the offline channels are getting smaller and digital and online channels are being used more often. The behaviors of the customers are also changing, so we want to be in all platforms. We want to be the first and the best option for our passengers. Our aim is to deliver a seamless journey to keep the things simple for them. Our services are starting from inspiring a potential customer to book your flight in any of the channels to a wide range of launch services and onboard experiences. And we care about their feedback as well. So we are connected in social media via our chatbots and voice bots. With all the new technology and the devices they have, we want to react immediately to a passenger need, but even proactively identify the needs to offer the right services. So, as an airline, of course, we want to be where the passengers are. We provide all our services in multiple touch points. Previously, we had separate websites for Air France and KLM. We recently renewed our website, and it really helped us to simplify our IT landscape complexity. We improved our response times, and of course, it brings consistency and simplicity for our passengers. Our mobile app is providing all the digital services we have in the other touchpoints as well, but we are using location-based services and some AR technologies to deliver passenger-specific services on mobile apps. And social media, our story with social media started with edge clouds and stranded passengers, and now it is our closest connection point with our passengers with chatbots and voice bots. So as you can see, we have a lot of digital products. How we deliver these products? We are using Agile since 2008. Currently, we have more than 350 product teams at Air France-KLM. On the product team level, we are mainly using Scrum and sometimes Kanban, and we use SAFe, Scaled Agile Framework, to scale up the Agile product delivery. At SAFe, they have release trains to organize the delivery around value streams. At Air France-KLM, we translate it into release planes. So we use release planes to help to organize the business innovation. We map all the value streams into our customer journey. So at Digital Department, we have more than 50 product teams, and we have 7 release planes, which is representing a part of the customer journey, such as sales or paid products, airport. We are planning every 3 months. We came together and we get the roadmap from business, and all the teams are planning together. They go back and they start sprinting bi-weekly. What we see is that SAFe is helping the product teams to focus on the delivery, and SAFe is helping the domain to organizing the dependencies much easier. Next to the plain structure, we have some common organizations as well. For instance, shared services. Shared services are a couple of product teams coming together to deliver the transversal needs of the whole domain. We also have a system team, which is helping us with newer tools, more automation, and better software development practices. So we want to meet the customer needs of the changing world. And we also want to keep our employees engaged and happy at the same time. We see that the customers are expecting a prompt response, but they also want to reach us out from multiple channels without any privacy concerns. In today's markets, giving an answer to a customer need is already a given. What we try to do is to proactively identify their needs and also deliver right services for them. So we are designing our products, focusing on time to market, innovation, robustness, and security as well. We are also choosing the tools and the platforms we need, which can help improve the employee productivity, and also which can speed up our speed of innovation and experimentation as well. Our goal is to reach release on demand. In other words, every code commit can go live. So today we are focusing on CI/CD pipeline capabilities, and we are focusing on full automation. Meantime, we want to decrease the complexity of our architecture, and we want to speed up with the business delivery. So we are moving towards the microservices architecture. And of course, we rely on AI and ML technologies to be able to identify the customer needs proactively based on personal behavior, and of course, with our voice bots and chatbots as well. So today we are sharing the story of ePass. What is ePass? ePass is our core payment application, which is connected with our website, mobile app, and social media channels as well. So ePass was built approximately 12 years ago. It handles around 37,000 payment transactions per day, and it takes care of all the online revenue for us. So it's a real backbone for all our digital touchpoints. When a potential customer, for instance, lands into our website, we use our APIs to find the best offer and do the booking of the full journey. And then ePass comes into the picture to take care of all payment-related activities. ePass is also connected with outside with payment providers as well. So as you can see, robustness and security is a must-have for us. And business innovation never stops with this project. And the tool needs to be always up to date to be able to be on par with the newest security standards. So if one day ePass stops, then all our online revenue stops. It's really mission critical for us. So because of this reason, we were looking for a non-risky way to modernize the application. And we have an application transformation program within AirFrance-KLM IT, partnering up with VMware Pivotal Labs. Was a great opportunity for us because we were able to get the experts from Pivotal Labs. We were able to get the support of our tech senior consultants. And basically with the dedication of the ePass team, we started our journey. With this partnership, what did we gain? Basically, we brought the expertise from past internal and external projects. We were very close to the central backlog. Whenever we need something specific to ePass, then we were able to embed it in the central backlog to be delivered for us. And we paired up with 3 parties. We formed the modernization team and started our 6 weeks journey. And to be honest with you, 6 weeks is very ambitious for such a mission critical project. But getting these expertise from Pivotal and Tech and our dedication, we made a success story at the end. So our modernization roadmap for ePass, it is derived from time to market, innovation, and also, of course, robustness and security goals. What we want to do is we want to speed up with the release cycles of ePass, which is 1 month. We want to move away from old release concept to a new state. Whenever a user story is ready, then it can go live. We wanted to move to the new platform because we need to comply with the newest PCI standards. And of course, to reach our release on demand goal, we need more and more CI/CD capabilities. However, our time was limited, so only 6 weeks. We had to be selective as well. We decided to focus on transforming the application and moving to the new platform, but we also aim to embed best engineering principles like test-driven development or pairing up into our way of working. So we started with an inception phase to define our goals of this 6 weeks journey. And Patrick will tell you the daily secrets of way of working and how they really create a success at the end. So Patrick?
Yes, thank you, Oya. So Oya kind of explained why this project was needed, why this transformation needed to happen. I will go into more detail now about how we did it and what was actually achieved in the end. So one of the things that I want to highlight is the way of working. There were a few ceremonies specific for this project. So Oya already mentioned the inception, where the expectations were set with all of the stakeholders involved. And then after the project was done, there was also the outception, where we had a look back at what was achieved. There were also some ad hoc meetings to fix blockers along the way. I'll get back on that later. And on top of these meetings, we also did our regular Scrum meetings. So there were daily stand-ups, refinement, retrospectives, and demo, as you can see here, back when we didn't have to socially distance ourselves. So the payment application team, EPAS, was split up into two parts. One part focused purely on transforming the application, while the other part could still deliver business features and maintain the application itself. We worked in 1 week iterations, and one of the key principles that we used was pair programming, as you can also see here in the picture, where two developers sit next to each other, working on the same machine. And yeah, we noticed that this really increases the code quality that we deliver. So let me first explain a bit how EPAS looked like before we started this migration. So this is EPAS. It consisted of 3 components. This was before we split it up into 5 components. And it is hosted on a bare metal Tomcat server with proprietary AirFrance-KLM software on it. This setup itself was really nice, but the downside was that it was very hard to scale. So if we wanted to scale up, then we had to physically add a new server, install the proprietary software on it, and then put the EPAS application on it. And this involved many different departments and just it was a lot of hassle. So this was also one of the reasons why it was decided to move to Tanzu. So back to EPAS. EPAS makes use of Oracle databases, Mongo database, and for queues, we use WebSphere MQ. And EPAS provides web services to other teams inside the AirFrance-KLM network. And EPAS consumes APIs and web services from in the outside world. So you can think of payment service providers who will actually help facilitate the payment of the customer. So what did EPAS look like once the migration was done? Well, so EPAS was split up from 3 components into 5 components. And 3 of the 5 components were put in Tanzu Application Service after this whole project was done. So the majority of the application was put on the Tanzu Application Service, while at the same time, the rest of the application remained the same. So same database connections, a queue connection, and same connection with the internal teams and the outside world. Okay, so how did we actually do this? The first step that we did was we wanted to deploy to the Tanzu Application Service with a bunch of shortcuts. We wanted the smallest possible app to run in the test environment on the platform. So we hard-coded the secrets. We did not have any Mongo database connection or queue connection. We just wanted the app to be there. And this was actually very quickly possible. And this gave us some good insight in what else needed to be done to be structurally on the platform. So after this first deployment in test environment, we knew that we had to continue to improve by bootifying the main components. We had to find a good solution for secret management. The custom Kubernetes solution that we already have in the organization was not compatible with Tanzu. So we had to find a different solution for that. And also we noticed that the old deployment tool, XL Deploy, was no longer an option for us. So for secret management, many stakeholders had to come together to find not just the right solution for EPAS at that point, but also a viable solution for all the other applications that will go to Tanzu in the future within our organization. So after some ad hoc discussions, CredHub became the viable solution in the midterm. And then for the long term, we will eventually move to Vault. As for bootifying the application, I'll just quickly go through this. So we added the Spring Boot dependency to the POM, added the Spring Boot annotation, and configured a health check, and made sure that the configuration was migrated from the web XML to a configuration annotated class. Also, all of the properties were added in the application.properties and bootstrap.properties. Then, specifically for deploying to the platform, all we had to do was add a Spring Cloud dependency and add some configuration in the manifest.yaml specifically for deploying. And that was it. That was all we needed to do to manually deploy to the platform. And of course, we did not want to manually deploy each time. So we set up automated deployment pipelines in Bamboo so that each deployable got its own pipeline per environment. OK, so at this point, we had bootified the application. We had found a good solution for secret management. And we had the application deployed in the test environment in the Tanzu Application Service. So yeah, we were ready to go do our first go live. But before we actually went live, there were a few issues that still needed to be resolved. So one of the issues was that the response from one of the payment service providers did not reach the application, but it got lost somewhere in the KLM network. The final acknowledgement was not received by the app. And as a workaround for this, we had to configure manually the time to live value. Another thing that we noticed was that the app crashed during our load tests. And this was because the OpenJDK 8 version was not compatible with Oracle in our application. And this was fixed by using version 11 of OpenJDK. There were also some issues with the health check, which were also related to the network. And because of all these problems that we encountered right before our go live, we had to postpone it a bit. So the actual project took 9 weeks instead of 6. For our recommendation, I know that many teams already do this, but it really helped us out that we properly load tested the application before we went live with this. And that's also what I recommend to anybody who would do this transformation. So after those issues were resolved, we were finally live with 3 of the 5 components. Yeah, so what was achieved here? Our response times were improved by 10%. It was also much easier now to scale the application. We had no more dependencies with other departments and tickets. All the power for scaling is in the product team itself. Also, the time to patch for the platform, it's now within 72 hours. And this is great because we have to meet this requirement for compliancy reasons. And all in all, it's just become much easier to make the deployments for the team. There's still some improvement points. So there's still the dependency with the old deployment tool, which means that we cannot use Tanzu's blue-green deployment yet. The blue-green deployments are a very safe way without a lot of risks to go live. So that's still an improvement point. Also, we noticed that during the project, we really took a lot of time finding the solution for secret management. So this could have been resolved earlier if the requirements were set up properly upfront already. Finally, when we split up the application from 3 components into 5 components, we didn't split it up all the way. So all 5 components are still tied together with the same configuration. And splitting this up was a bit too complex for the scope of this project. So that's still something that we can improve on later. From the team, the experience was very positive. It was invigorating to work with the Pivotal experts. And now there's more confidence within the team to continue to improve the application. At the same time, stakeholders were happy that the business features could still continue to be delivered. So that was also great. One downside of this was that 2 branches had to be maintained at the same time. So one for the transformation changes and the other for the business features. But the team figured this out in the end. Okay, so now we're a few months, the project has been finished for a few months. And at this point in time, this is where we stand. So all 5 components of EPAS are today live on Tanzu Application Service, which means that there's no more components of EPAS in the bare metal Tomcat setup, while the rest is still more or less the same. So looking ahead, from the organization side, at this point, there's no more fear of big changes. If such an old application as EPAS can transform, then it's possible for any application. So more and more applications will be moving to TAS, although due to the recent circumstances, this has slowed down a bit. And for the application side, for EPAS, we will continue to transform the application to make use of blue-green deployments in the future. And our goal is also to eventually do go-lives on commit. All right. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you.
Thank you, Oye and Patrick. Transforming a payment app in 6 weeks is impressive. And I think I'm going to use the term release plans from now on. One of the advantages, again, of virtual conference is to get a chance to continue the discussion in a way that you wouldn't be able to in an in-person conference. So I want to remind you to head over to the Slack channel and continue the discussion.